and welcome to Millennium Computer's online 5-minute tutorials. Today we're going to look at the question, how do I make a pinned report? Now, pinned reports are extremely powerful tools and really quite important in terms of a time saver if you have reports you run on a regular basis, particularly if those reports involve a fairly complex amount of parameters for filters. Now, let's start with a basic example. I've created an admissions report here that has, as you can see, quite a few filter options selected. I've got a handful of terms. I've got a number of admit types, departments, level, application status codes, and gender. Now, if we execute this report, let's assume this is data you need to run on a fairly regular basis, and you definitely don't want to be entering the filters every time you run it. Let's save it. If we click to the bottom of the page on the Save As button, now we use the terms pinning and saving interchangeably here. Let's click on the button and you're prompted to save the report with a name. Let's give this a unique name that also gives some indication as to what the report is for. Let's call it Admissions Science. Now the description is optional, but I recommend you put something in here that will give other users the opportunity to see if this is something that would be beneficial to them as well. If we make this report public, other users will be able to see it in their libraries if they have access to the student module. So let's say this is applicants by term, science, female only. Now, optional features here are to roll this out to part of a group or to make this report public. You also have the opportunity to do some dashboarding techniques like graphing or making the grid available on your dashboard, but we're going to cover dashboarding in more detail in other tutorials. For now, let's leave it private and click Save. The report was pinned successfully, and now let's find our pinned report. There's two places you can do that from. Right on your page, there's a Pinned Reports tab, and right away you can see our report on the top of the page. Now these sort alphabetically, and the reports you're seeing from the admission page are those reports that are based on admissions data. When you're on a particular page in any module of FAST, you're going to see those pinned reports for that page only. So let me show you the other place you can find pinned reports that I think is the most valuable of all. Let's go back to our home page for student reporting. If we click on the Pinned Reports tab, what we see here are a list of pinned reports in every part of Student FAST. Let's drill down to My Pinned Reports. These are the private pinned reports, the ones you've not made public. If you click on Admissions, there's our report, Admissions Science. We can drill down from here. Every feature of the dashboard and pinned reports tabs are interactive. It's based on the admissions report. If we hover over this bubble, we can see the description we entered. If we hover over the information bubble, we'll see how many times the report's been executed and when the last time it was executed. Now this is really handy if you were thinking about deleting or modifying a pinned report. You can see how many times it's been run and when it was last run. This can be valuable. We can execute it from this home page. We can also export it directly to PDF as a printable document. We can export it to an Excel spreadsheet, or we can email it as a link to a colleague. Now this, I think, is a really important feature. If we click this Favorite button, it populates our Favorites tab at the top of the page. This means not only is it going to be the first thing you see when you log into Student FAST, but it's also designated at the top of the page for quick access. On the far right of the page, you can delete the pinned report. You can also modify this report instead of deleting it, and we're going to cover that in the next tutorial. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll see you next time.